All right, let's riff a little bit about a topic of conversation about what you are available for in your day-to-day life. So what things show up in your life that you're okay with, what things show up in your life that you're not so okay with, and why are they showing up? All that lovely stuff. So here we go. I suppose I should probably introduce myself every once in a while. My name's Jillian. I am trained as a naturopathic doctor. I am obsessed with yoga, so I do have my yoga teacher training as well. What else do I have? I have a bunch of random ass certifications. Let's just put it that way. Anyways, my whole thing in life is to kind of understand the whole life experience and why the hell we're here. So to me personally, it's a journey of mine that I have the most interest in, that I spend a lot of time focusing on myself and my own personal life. Professionally, I am known more as a skincare person, so I do talk a lot about skincare products. I coach clients who have chronic acne or rosacea to help heal their skin. I offer a lot of different products and programs around that whole idea. I also own a product company where we create clean beauty products like body oils, as well as a few different awesome supplements. So in a nutshell, I hope that just is a smorgasbord of who I am. Oh, and for all the astrology buffs, I am a Gemini sun, a Sagittarius moon, and a Virgo rising. I am a manifestor in human design. I don't think there's anything else you guys need to know about me. This whole talk was kind of inspired a little bit from Amanda Frances. I'm a huge fan of her. I love her approach of how she says and how she does things. It's not like anybody in this realm of mindset work is not necessarily recreating the wheel of any way. A lot of this stuff has just been known for centuries and centuries and centuries, right? I think what's important though is that certain things are going to click with certain people depending on who's saying them and how they're being said, what medium they're being presented to you in, and all that type of stuff. So that's where repetition and reinforcement are two really important things when it comes to making shifts in anything in life, but in particular with mindset stuff. So I am going to talk a little bit about some things that I've learned from her recently about what is your availability, what are you available for in your life. This might be a good time for you guys to get out your journal. If you do journal, I encourage you to, so that we can go along. And then as we're going along too, you can kind of pause the video as well as I make different journaling prompts and explain them to you. So why I think they're important. Here we go. What are you available for? So this is a really obscure question, which sometimes, especially in the beginning, when you're starting to understand the concept of beliefs and how life is a mirror and how everything around us is a construct of our creation, of like what we are sharing with the world, so that it's being mirrored back to us. So it's a bit of a mind bender sometimes, and trust me, as someone who is an overly logical person at times and also not most of the time, it's like at face value, I'm like 100% research based, very logical, all that type of stuff. In my own personal life though, I really love exploring like the deeper meaning of things and really questioning stuff like on a more visceral level, as opposed to where can I externally find this information. So this is a little bit unusual for me to be talking about stuff like this, only because I normally come at explaining things from a research-based background, which of course there's research on this stuff, don't get me wrong. Like Joe Dispenza, as an example, the book Supernatural, a few of his other books, like he does go into the research of what's available out there for people to learn more about making neurobiological shifts in their brain chemistry, in their neurological functioning of how their brains are structured, essentially, a lot of fancy words, in order for us to change our thoughts, to change our lives, to change how we perceive our reality. So yes, there is a ton of research out there on this stuff, but I'm not going to specifically touch on it. I'm going to touch on more like the journaling prompts and things that you can get started on actionably in your day-to-day life to start making some shifts. All this stuff, by the way, is in much more detail in the Mindset Lab, which is a course. It's an 8-week online course that I had created a few months ago. So it is available on my website. Oh, and I think I'm also supposed to say, because this is a bit of a YouTube premiere, is if you like this video, please like it and subscribe below. Or here, subscribe below. I don't know. Okay, so anyways, back to the whole topic of conversation here before I lose your interest. What are you available for has a lot to do with what your limiting beliefs are, how you perceive the world, what you think is what it's supposed to be, and what have you. So we invite a lot of shit into our lives just as much as we invite a lot of joy into our lives. And also, like, shit and joy are our perceptions as well, because there is nothing that's good or bad, but that's for a whole other topic of conversation. There are two questions that I think are really important to reiterate and remind yourself of on a daily basis. These are ones that kind of click with me. There's a bunch of different ways to word this. So what are you available for, and what are you not available for? Let's start with the first statement. So I am available for blank. What comes up for you when I say that? So with some of the stuff, like it could be a money goal. I'm available for like X amount of dollars to generate X amount of dollars a month. I am available for being debt free. Those are all Amanda Frances inspired type things because she does a lot with money mindset related stuff. From a physical perspective, I am available for clear skin. I am available for a fit and toned body. I'm available for abundant energy, whatever you're available for, write it down. That's something that's important in your life. So as you do that, you're going to notice that there's going to be some background talk, the ego going on in the background here of all the reasons why you're not actually available for that. And this is where the fun stuff gets in. So pay attention. What are those things that pop up for you? So if you say, for example, I am available for clear skin, what's coming up for you right now if you're someone that statement resonates with? Well, I don't deserve to have clear skin. I don't have clear skin right now, so that's not possible for me to have something like that. I've tried everything already and I'm not available for clear skin because nothing works. Right? Like list all those limiting beliefs out that are popping up for you based around each of those I am available for statements that you just wrote down. And then the fun part here is to make some shifts with some of those limiting beliefs that just popped up. So as an example, that I'm available for clear skin, a limiting belief that came up is it's not possible for me to have clear skin because I've tried everything already and nothing works. Well, let's ask the question, is that ultimately true? Is that like definitively, without a question of a doubt, a completely true statement? And let's dissect that a little bit. So it's not possible for me to have clear skin. Well, a part of you believes that it's not possible, but you have had clear skin in the past. You can see around you that people can clear up their skin. There are success stories out there. So it is possible for people to get clear skin. Therefore, it is possible that it is in your realm of what's attainable for you in your life to have clear skin. It's possible as well because, are you going to be in your 80s and still be breaking out, right? That's probably not in the realm of possibility. So it's to challenge those limiting beliefs that we have. And the other one about I can't have clear skin because I've tried everything and I've proven to myself that nothing works. Well, have you really tried absolutely everything? Are there other things out there that perhaps you haven't tried? Which, there's always more things out there that someone hasn't tried, right? Like you haven't tried absolutely everything. There's infinite things out there that are possible for someone to do to clear up their skin. That's just an example, right? Okay, now that we've listed out our limiting beliefs and we've challenged our limiting beliefs if they're actually true or not, now we're going to take it a step further and shift it. So we're going to open up the possibility of allowing our minds to see us being available for that thing that we want, and then feeling as if it were true. So experiencing it as if it was happening to you right now. So what I want you to do is we're going to take our original statement, I am available for clear skin, and then we are going to write about it as if it was already ours. So I'm available for clear skin. It makes me feel safe in my body. I feel at home in my body. I feel I can trust my body unconditionally, that it's not going to break out unpredictably anymore. Having clear skin, being available for clear skin allows me to be able to be more available for those that I love around me because I'm not spending so much time being concerned about something that's holding me back and keeping me stagnated. I'm allowed to expand and be of service to others and show up in my life the way that I know that I'm capable of. And then at the end, what we're going to do is to really reinforce that is to make the opposite statement. So I am not available for blank. So the opposite statement of I'm available for clear skin would be I am not available for chronic breakouts. And then you're going to go through the whole thing again as to like challenging the limiting beliefs, shifting things, seeing what comes up, what have you. I challenge you to just try this out. Just try it out for a week, just for 7 days. Set a timer for 15 minutes in the morning and just give it a go and see how things go for you. Trust me, I am pretty skeptical about most things before I try them, but I also am able to acknowledge when I have nothing to lose trying things out. And that's exactly the reason why I want to share that with you guys. Because yes, I think there's a lot of things that we bring into our lives that make us feel trapped and hopeless and like there is no solution and that there is nothing better than this and things that keep us miserable, right? And it's really difficult sometimes because the ego is a very, very difficult thing. The ego can also be your teacher, however, which is something that maybe I'll talk about another time. That there is a silver lining in all that shit that you have to deal with. There's a silver lining there for you to grow in exponential ways if you are only willing to look at it that way. And trust me, this shit doesn't happen overnight. I want to stress that because to me, I have spent a long, long time, a lot of years of my life, being restricted and holding myself back from what I have a feeling that I'm probably capable of, just based on my own limiting beliefs, and inviting like it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy, right? Like I have these limiting beliefs about myself, and then they're reinforced by me seeing all the things that prove that limiting belief to be true in my life. So it takes some serious stamina and willpower and strength to be able to work through all that baggage that you have, because we all have it, to work through all that baggage, to identify all those limiting beliefs, all that shit that keeps you held back in your life, and to really challenge it. And the challenge can take a long, long time. It can take weeks, it can take months. Sometimes it can happen overnight for people. I mean, me personally, it starts to happen quicker and quicker. But trust me, a lot of the stuff where I'm coming from with talking about a lot of this stuff, especially with like chronic health conditions, what have you, didn't happen overnight. And I think there's something to be said too for you need to know the what. So you desire clear skin as an example, but it's not necessarily up to you to outline the how, because the how may always change. Your what is what drives you to take inspired action to go seek out the things that will help you heal, right? Like I definitely, I can't speak to miraculous healing because I don't know enough about it, or have enough of a wherewithal, I'll say, to speak to it. I think where a lot of this stuff comes into play for me, especially when it comes to like talking about chronic health issues or chronic limiting mindset beliefs that keep us held back in our lives, is that when we can identify what we've accepted as our comfort level of where we're currently living and how we're not okay with it, then being available for those types of things or being not available for those types of things, challenging those things will help us open our mind, open our thought processes to see that there is another way to see things. And when you open your mind to be more available to see things a different way, it's more likely that you will take inspired action in a different capacity than perhaps you have in the past. It's also one of those things too, and speaking from experience here myself, that if I have gone into working with someone, just as an example, that let's say you took inspired action coming from still a point where there's still a little bit of like a doubt, or limiting belief around that, but you took the action anyways to pursue like working with someone to help clear your skin or like shift your mindset or help you expand your mind on like business development or business growth or anything like that, right? It's if you still come into it with a shadow of or like that fear or these limiting beliefs around it, it's still not going to come to fruition. You are still going to do a self-fulfilling prophecy in some capacity if there's still that belief from the ego, a fear-based mindset that this shit don't work, right? Because it's not going to for you, because it's you're not available to believe that it will work for you. And I'm speaking from experience from this because not too long ago, I actually spent an obscene amount of money to work with someone for business coaching when I believed on some level that if I spent the money, I would I would be able to grow my business and I would be able to make more money than I ever had before. Now, that was true. Spending the money to work with this person allowed for me to make more money than I ever had before in my life. At the same time, the biggest thing that was the biggest roadblock for me in that was that I didn't believe that what I had to share with the world was worthy of any more, or was worthy of me receiving abundance. So from that mindset place, it was like I set myself up for failure without even really realizing it, because I hadn't taken the time to really go through and address all these deep-seated limiting beliefs that I have about myself that didn't align with where I was wanting to go, right? And like you see this time and time again, it's like we are, and again, it's we are available for what we believe we're available for. So at the time, I was not available for cash flow positivity. I was not available for abundance in my business. I was not available to be making the figures that I had dreamed that I want and said that I wanted to make, because I had too many limiting beliefs around that belief, around that desire, around saying that I was available for those things when I actually wasn't. So that's where it's like you can say all the things that you want to, but if there's still limiting beliefs that are kind of holding that back from that belief of manifesting in your life, then it's just not going to happen. And that's a perfect example for me. I have many other examples of how that has shown up in my life for me personally. And I hope that helps you see where this is a whole process. And in the beginning, it's really difficult. It can take a long time. You may have to go back and just do the same limiting beliefs over and over and over again for a few weeks on end before you start shifting things, right? Like these deep-seated beliefs have been around for so long. And what's that thing that Charlotte says in Sex and the City, where it's like it takes about half the amount of time to get over the relationship? It's kind of like that for your limiting beliefs, where it's like a lot of the time, these things we've been holding on since childhood. And it's like you've got a lot of undoing to do. To start seeing things differently. And all it takes first is just allowing yourself to acknowledge that you have nothing to lose, being open-minded to shift the way that you see things around you, how you see your life. Anyways, I hope that all makes sense to you guys. I know in the beginning it can seem a little bit confusing, but the more that you do the journaling prompts, the more that you go through them. Like I said, set the timer for 15 minutes every single morning and just commit to yourself at least for a week that you're going to do this for whatever limiting beliefs come up for you and whatever you want to be available or not available for. As you do the work, you'll notice that it becomes easier and easier, and you'll notice that the understanding of what exactly I'm talking about, like the deeper meaning of what I'm talking about, starts to seep through a little bit more. You start to see it a little bit easier. So I hope that you're open-minded to that idea, that it may not make complete sense right now, but it will, the longer that you commit to the work.